Here at ESL, we've been studying Rage for generations.
Welcome in, everybody. Thank you very much for your patience. We were just getting things started behind the scenes, really. A couple of tech issues, of course, but that is the nature. You know, we're trying to get in there smoothly.
Yeah.
Back online for the first time in a while here, but Nuke getting kicked off. And I've already... Okay, it was for Mini, thank goodness. I thought it was going to be a vent dive, but no. They've got other ideas here. As Monte starting off on this T side.
Oh my God,
out the first, they're going down the vent!
We're so bad.
Man?
We are so
bad. My God.
Vent dives for Monte.
This is crazy.
Shock horror as they go back towards B. And B must not lose his life, but a bomb plot will get out. Ooh.
Back up the vent. Okay.
Oh my God, no, why has he double pumped it? And now he's going to get out again. This is mental.
Seriously, back up the vent.
Yeah. But then bro's still here.
I don't know what to make of this, bro. Standing strong. Needs a couple more, maybe. It's not quite enough. 3-on-3 and the bomb plant coming in, and now an NRG that is completely displaced here now. Really not a good place for a lot of these players. Heavily split. Zoo with the retrieve Julies here. Looking to do the damage. Going to be denied. His teammate Afro is in such a good spot, however. That lurking presence that maybe called them back towards A. Rainwaker peeking out, looking to finish things off. Not quite going to get it, but surely not going to happen. Sonic taps the bomb. Can he find this headshot here? Got to be quick with it. He's given a good chance, but he cannot land the shots.
So the vent dive and back up works
Crazy.
for Monte.
Absolutely
that's
crazy.
the fix. You've got to go back up towards the top site, and that'll secure everything. It will be Monte who start off well here on the T side. Now, for those who tuned into yesterday's game, of course, they really looked worse for wear on this map. They couldn't get it going. They couldn't get that finish that they needed to that series. It was it was carnage for kind of all the wrong reasons, to be completely frank. But if they can get this T-side going a little early, right? And of course, this is a good opportunity, right? Pistol found out here now. It's a force fight to come through for NRG. They find the pistol as well. That's a nice little, generally speaking, 3-0 start on the T side of a map that is so CT-sided like Nuke. So we'll see. No see you'll break open the smoke, but patience for Monte as they then cross.
It's a bit close.
They know there's not going to be a lot of
making it
nades.
down.
That's the thing. So they
That
know
is
that
true.
after the first nade, they can probably go. Because it's a force fight to come through, they know that realistically they have like max 2 nades.
I just think they don't even want to be seen. Afro at
Yeah.
the back with the bomb.
Risky.
But yeah, ultimately no idea here, I think, from NRG.
Oh, hello. Oh, I thought Gizmo was going
Vent
to go
control
up.
secured. Most important area of the map, as we know.
Yeah.
Wild.
Monte put a real priority on that one.
Yeah, they love it.
Rainmaker lurking towards top side, though, I like this. He's basically the insurance policy to hold rotations.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I think the vent dive is meant to be like one of the better rounds statistically. So I think they're really leaning in on that strat. Kind of comical. Rainwaker in a good spot here to just keep attention up top, right? All becomes about damage now. Arguably for both sides, I think NRG will want to hold what they have into the next round. Monte, ooh, there you go. The opportunity to keep things clean. I think this man's days are numbered. Is me looking to make a bit of money on the Mac 10. Maybe get the hands off that Galil as well, which would be important.
True. Makes way up ladder. He's been held here by Sonic. If he goes out of lobby back towards spawn, there's a player in towards their spawn holding for exactly that. Looks like they're going to go towards outside as their exit play, but Sonic's here with the D-goal. He gets one, but a quick trade will come through. And a nice find from OC. I mean, they're making it expensive. Both sides taking some serious damage, which is more of a knock-on effect, to be honest, towards NRG. That round was already a foregone conclusion. They're fighting on the way out, and doing so, it actually makes this next round pretty weak for them. You've got a scout to work with, and one slight upgrade on the pistol, and that's about as good as it will be. So a 2-0 should pretty simply turn into a 3-0 here for Monte, to be perfectly honest. Like, I can't see really NRG causing that much problems. But I say that, they back-to-back force buy off the back of the damage dealt at the tail end of that round. So 2 rifles will come into play. The Galil that got scooped up by Nitro, and then Bro with an MP9 to support OC's saved scout. It's quite a bold move to go in for a force buy again.
I can respect it, though.
Yeah.
I like a bit of creativity with the economy. If it's well placed, be a really big fan of it.
The issue is, though, if you lose this, and especially if you can't make it expensive, then financially you're in a tough spot. But I love that break open on the smoke. Gives me you'll go down. He was just a little bit too far forward, crossing outside.
So much damage done as well to the remainder. I think this is a very, very good spot to be in, and a fair guess that they're going to send some resources downstairs. Bro is here, the ramp players as well, getting a little closer to the B-bomb site. Just info for Bro. He will get it eventually. One of the most unfun jobs, but he's not even really been seen. So he gets all this information now, and how do they want to play this? Another player dropping down, just keep the extremities covered. Monte also have some guessing games going on, as they're unsure.
This looks good for NRG. This is actually really good. They've actually read this quite well. I mean, 40 seconds, like, there's not a lot of time here. I think after us to draw a fight out, he's trying to do as he spams.
Just reveals himself, though, unfortunately. I think really weird kind of angle from Bro to deal with. Should be able to cut off the single door. 25 seconds. They're not feeling it, you know? They don't look really confident in this play. I'm sure there's conversations about, should we maybe save? But they are giving it a look. No success, no dice. Rainwaker upstairs, 10 seconds left, doesn't find the important kill.
AK there.
That'll be that. Bemis is now going to try and save.
An enviable job. He's also made a step as well, so they know where he is. They hunt him at the tail end is the question for me. They're going to have a little look. He's going to go down. I don't think he needs to be fighting there, let's be honest. But he's also worried that potentially there's A-side players wrapping from outside, so he can't afford to go and sit in towards Secret. Nice work there from NRG. That is a fantastic round. Flawless, and on top of that, the read was immaculate there. And to further add insult to injury is just that death off the time for BMAS.
Yeah.
You normally will force back in response here for NRG, but for Monte, may I say. But for NRG, that's a fantastic kind of first round to get on the board. It's a real kind of game changer in terms of the swing. We do get that force buy. They sort of have to because BMAS didn't double eco. And all he can get out is a P250. Can't even get out armor.
Yeah, that's rough. I feel they were just caught off by the notion of the buy, really. Especially in the initial moments. A little too excitable to try and get down Secret once again.
Yeah.
They really do seem to find a strat, something they've worked on early this morning maybe, and just continually forcing it until they feel like they're fed up. They are once again moving down off the back of the outside smokes. Gizmi going to get taken down. This time a bit faster. So they work on the C word, the old conditioning really, to just change a few things. Very, very subtle changes to catch that CT side off guard. The question always remains, is it going to work? Nitro standing strong here, surely traded. He is indeed, and it's Bro for the double down, which will make all the difference here.
Yeah, turning around for him and Rainwaker, who traditionally is the lurker on this side. On the T side, he's up towards top, but there's just nothing here. 40 seconds, 1 versus 4, and sure, somebody like Bro is vulnerable, but there's no chance of making anything out of this round, really. I mean, to be honest, he just wants to go down. You just want to have a bit of that lost bonus money to work with before your next gun round. But it will be a tie game here by NRG, and not only that, a pretty easy pathway to turning that 2-2 scoreline into a lead for the North American side. AK scooped up. And the bomb. He's also stepping as well.
10 seconds.
He could get a plant out here just about, because that main player might be a little slow to denying it. Yeah, bomb plant out. Honestly, silver linings in what was a lost round already. You're swinging, he'll get one.
And I think you just say,
yeah, just keep hold of what you've got. Honestly, not terrible. You get a kill, you scoop up an AK, and you get a bomb plant down as well, just to add a little bit of cash flow towards the Monte side. That actually isn't a bad ending, despite losing the round as a whole.
Rainwaker looking good. I am reliably informed by our good friend Ted that he's the first Bulgarian in Pro League since season 16.
Who would have been back then? It would have been Cirque, right?
With
EG.
Sort of the dying embers of that team, unfortunately.
Did any of the Bulgarian mixes? They definitely went to Pro League conference, but I don't think they made it. Like the Skades and the Voivodas. I'm thinking players as well like Red Star and Oxygen Bubble.
Yeah. Just not quite able to break through that ceiling.
They were top end tier 2, but they can never really kind of crack in the door of the tier 1. Online demons, but it wasn't always the same when it came towards kind of the LAN portion of play. But yeah, you know, I kind of touched on this yesterday. I always felt like Rainwaker's time in Liquid
doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Yeah, exactly.
A bit robbed of his potential.
I always felt he had so much more to offer, and I always felt like of those like Bulgarian teams that we had playing in the tier 2, he was always the better of the crop, right? The kind of the players that, you know, could make, you know, we had obviously players who like firepower wise are incredible. Like I think like Red Star's a good example. Like he so relentless as a player, but there's obviously it's so hard to be like a dedicated entry at the top level. That's why we see them struggle ultimately, right? And we always seen them like essentially be seen as and painted as one tricks.
Yeah.
So I think like there's something that Cypher got painted with that brush a little bit, right? Like a one trick dedicated entry. Like it's an unenviable job, I think, at times, because it can really hurt. I mean, this is sort of what Azu's doing on this side. He is a daddy entry in a lot of instances. And doing so, it's really difficult to see. Let's see how Grim stacks up. Oh! Grim shuts down B ramp as he nails 4. In a matter of moments, Monte felt like they can make some movements towards B, and the bold buff of Grim has other ideas.
Afro all alone all of a sudden, as he sits on the deagle here, hoping to just find a stray head wandering into his crosshair. I think it will be the case, at least for some time, so a decision to make here. Are we going to sit around for a minute or so before he starts moving, or is he just going to throw himself into this and try and take a gun away? The round itself, surely not going to happen. He will start to have a look as he gets bored up there on the roof. Rightfully so. In all fairness, that's close. The aim punch getting the better of him. But yeah, solid hold coming in towards the ramp. Some good confidence building rounds, stacking them on top of each other here for NRG, who maybe not the tightest of boot camps, but they're still right next to each other, you know. Crazy stuff. And then, bro, I feel maybe playing from home, potentially.
Like the little Microsoft Paint on top of the...
Yeah, I love a Microsoft Paint thumbnail. Me and my friends really fell out about that. You know when you try and like start the YouTube when you're like 12 or whatever, we really fell out about No!
Oh, we're back to basics. Back to basics. Chase them, bro.
They're ready.
Chase
They're
them.
already ready. They're already ready. There's 2 down here. There's a guy in the vent ready to chase. Like, come on, the vent dive has been solved by now. Ooh, maybe not though. Zulu, nice shot from him. Grim to trade. That's the bomb hitting the deck out in the open. Really good spot to be in. And here is that quick flank to see it off. It's one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes in a round you'll call care for the rush, guys are going to be like on a low buy. Feel like you're playing Monte. You watched that game yesterday, like care for the vent dive every round. Care for the vent dive, guys.
And
Let's make sure we're on the pivot.
They're actually making Bro be basically a dedicated vent player.
Yeah.
Like that is his entire job. I mean, in a way, it must be some of the easiest prep to do. Like you just watched that game yesterday and it's just like...
They must have clowned a team with like 10 vent dives in a row.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Just did not have the protocols.
Well, they picked up a lot of wins on LAN recently, which is why Monte have kind of scaled the ranks quite quickly. They found themselves coming in towards this tournament ranked 17th overall in the VRS, which I think for a lot of people might be a bit surprising, especially if you only follow kind of the top end of Tier 1 Counter-Strike. You might be a bit perplexed to see a side like Monte in the top 20, but yeah, they picked up some good runs of form. They won the Copenhagen Gaming Week LAN, surprisingly, in Copenhagen, and a couple of wins
took place over a week.
Yeah. Who'd have thought? Yeah, there was games involved as well. They beat Ill Will in that final, who are a really scary Tier 2 team at the moment. For those who maybe want to broaden their horizons in the Counter-Strike world as well, I'd actually implore you to go and have a watch a bit of Ill Will. They've been playing some really good Counter-Strike on Orged as well, so exciting times for them. They're flying up the rankings at the moment, playing so much CS and a lot of consistency. They actually had a day, I made a little tweet about it, but they had a day the other day where they had 7 games scheduled. 5 best of ones across, is it Roman or Draculan, one of the 2?
Yeah.
And a best 3 in ECL Challenger League, or ESL Challenger League. And I think another one in, I think it was CCT. It was a long, long day for them. I think it was, it was a morning game on Nodwin, 9 a.m. start.
Right.
Then from 2 p.m., this is UK time, they had 5 back-to-back best of ones. And then to finish off the day, they had a best of 3.
Wish that against, on my worst enemy.
Yeah, Alliance in ESL Challenger League Cup 1. They ended up forfeiting that ECL game against Alliance. But
they're
even
only
still,
like 2 games away from
yeah. They were in the lower bracket
semi-final, I guess.
Semis, I think it was. Yeah. But Long days, and that is the tier 2 grind ultimately. But yeah, if you're going to broaden your horizons, go and check out. Well, I do actually think they're playing some really good Counter-Strike at the moment. Got some players you'll recognize as well from their time in tier 1 as well. NRG 4-2. We take a pause out for Monte as they try to figure out what's the next protocol. The vent dives. They figured us out early. How have they done it? How have they figured out the ruse, our plans?
Watch one demo.
Tuned in to that Astralis game.
Ooh.
Nice fight for Afro outside, though. That'll help. OC goes down. That's an important player dropped already, and an important bit of control to have.
Swung away a little.
Could have been bomb spotted, by the way.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know if he quite rounded the corner. Difficult to tell sometimes on the X-ray. They don't seem... Well, they do have one player posted downstairs. Nice little boost up here as well, actually. Yeah. Really smart stuff to know that they've lost outside control, and
I'm just
therefore
thinking,
the T's could be anywhere.
If he was fighting like that, it looked like he reacted to that fight, then surely the radar would have popped up with the bomb. So.
Yeah. But it's no... This is the thing. The mini smoke comes in. It's no clarification.
Yeah.
Where they are going. Azure
with
with potentially a dangerous angle in a moment here. Oh, he's... Oh my goodness. Snuck in. Timing's insane. Really is insane. He could...
The thing is, he can't do anything in terms of, like, he can't catch
important,
anybody. Like, surely he just loses his
And it seems it's being communicated that it's like, we could potentially have lost control and they timed us in hell. So he's the first to move. At least it gets the information for the rest of the team.
Oh,
Grim standing strong. They were nice and low for him, set up to be knocked down. And he does just that. Had some pretty clean transfers so far. Rainwaker all alone. Might be able to get the drop on one. Even then, Nitro seems ready for him. NRG looking really, really hot here.
Yeah.
They are just so cerebral and ready for this Monte approach.
Another 3-piece for Grim. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful stuff. NRG look very comfortable. And we've kind of already painted the picture, really, when we spoke about this. Because of NRG picking in towards that Anubis, Monte don't play it. And because it was floated, because it maybe even expected for NRG to be banning into it, it potentially opens up the door for things to be a little messy in that map number 2. And so we're kind of putting quite a lot of priority on Monte doing well on their pick. How is he not dead? The nade might see him off, or in fact, Bro will. Gets one, but a quick trade going to come through from BMAS. Here is a bountiful flank brewing as Grim makes that move. He catches Azu, and he will just tuck his head back around the corner. He found a little gap on that smoke. Nitro surely, again, a bit of an off angle here, but cleared out. However, what can they do with Sonic? Just for one for him. 2 versus 2. Grim, again, going to remake that move. Coming through, Rainwaker going to check, and he gets tagged, but he'll find him. Yikes. And a missed shot with the AWP. OC had to do something a little daring. It'll cost him his life, and Monte, honestly, they look on the back foot the entire way through that round, but they end up coming out on top.
Yeah, we might get to catch a little bit in the replays. Nitro thinking he was safe from door, maybe.
Yeah.
Sonic not quite on the watch in good time.
Yeah.
So it just becomes very, very messy. Too many players to be looking at for Sonic on the trades. Not quite on the same page. And it does cost them. This is the thing as well. Grim goes for that discipline drop back after finding his kill. Maybe needed a complete reposition to just throw the T's off. They obviously had information that he could be in behind. So it's good finds, but there is a bit of NRG falling apart there, you know, and losing the round rather than Monte with some crazy reads or incredible individual moments. So
definitely a squandered opportunity, right? I mean, that's kind of like ultimately the way it feels. A lot of smokes towards outside, and Sonic will try and break one open to spam, but they've crossed with an AWP in just a moment. You're going to contact in towards the big green. It should be an easy one. Oh, or not. Isme, nice work.
Uncommon angle, man. Works against you from time to time, as I think AWPers are really used to routine. And that works against it for sure. Sonic caught completely off guard. Couple rounds for this guy now where he's not quite locked in, not quite head in the game. Grim, however, has been hidden down here, waiting and biding his time. He's looking so good. These multi-frag moments, whenever they're presented to him, it seems he is capitalizing. He just needs some assistance. He needs a teammate. And Nitro being the only one left.
12 and 2 for
Has
Grim.
to get in here. Oh, this is so scary on the timing. Bemis, though, really well played in between the two angles. on a pretty consistent basis. Leaves Grim to ace up in order to win this round, and it's not going to happen. Monte closing the gap.
Yeah, it's nice for consolation kills, but really decent round from Monte. It's a very aggressive post plant they've played. They've spread the team quite thin there, which does leave them vulnerable to isolations, but they just went out the head-to-heads. Nice work. And Monte still showing a bit of prowess. This is already looking a lot more competitive than that Astralis game, right? It's already looking like they've got a few more tricks up the sleeve, a few more rounds they can kind of throw at them. Back in place for NRG. I mean, realistically, like the CT side have built up a wealth of econ at the start, so they've got plenty of money to work with, but Sonic will fly in towards the fight, and that'll cost him his life. A very, very early death for him. It's information to be gained, sure, but it's not exactly like it's anything useful. They know Afro has been going towards our side with that orb. Oh, she's got a gap just above that smoke that he can utilize. If they maybe think it's a little bit thicker, that smoke, than it is, it could cost them if they try and cross towards red. NRG will go for a top side stack a little bit here. They've got numbers in this direction, and Monte just pumped the brakes.
No real need, right? It's a great position to convert from.
I also say, in situations like this, I like the gamble. Like, you actually just may as well take a risk.
Of course.
Like, if you lose the B-site, you just save.
We're going to fake things is gives me more outside smokes to try and sell the idea of that B walk down. You might have a little look, but I don't think they're super sold quite yet. You can't necessarily spot anything. It's going to be an A burst to close things out with 2 players on the util. So really has to be perfect here. Yeah.
They're in a good spot for it though, NRG. This could still be really messy. I mean, there's 3 players here.
Yeah, they're so
back
ready.
over. Nice find. There's the first.
OC with that orb, looking for a little bit more. Rainwaker does manage to chime in through the smoke. He keeps him coming, but so does OC. Grim on high, and the stack has paid off.
15.
Ultimately, gives me not a lot of time to work with. Some missed shots, but he just gets overwhelmed. NRG dedicating to the top side stack, and it pays off.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Really, really nice work. It's a good gamble, and it's one of those rounds as well that, you know, just because they've taken that gamble, in a situation that if Monte go back towards their default, hitting towards that lower site, you just shell up and save. You just call it a day there, and you reuse those weapons in towards the next. But it's the flip side of it, right? Because you've picked it right, you can actually pug your way through, and they trade effectively. Really nice work. Lost the initial man, but they do a fantastic job of recouping that round. They've all got a timeout off the back of it. Gives an opportunity for Daps, coach of NRG, and of course Kakafu, coach of Monte, to enter the fray. But it's not a bad spot, honestly, from either side so far. 4 rounds already for Monte on the T side is pretty good, but it is feeling like on the CT side, NRG have a little bit more about them, which is sort of as you'd expect. So at the moment, in terms of the feeling of this game, it is actually ultimately quite even.
Yeah, maybe not what Monte want, though. I think they really needed to hit the ground running and not necessarily dominate, but be the team in control.
Agreed.
Maybe that'll happen into the second half if we keep all these types of arguments up, but they feel like they need to steal some control back with a quick move out towards A. Bemis to find that first, but Bro is in a really unlikely spot here. Ooh, and there's some info coming in on it. Zuru now spotted. Patience could pay off here because there is that... Okay, flank doesn't matter. Gizmi, I think, has just completely flattened Grim down, who'd been working on that position for so very long. And the A-bomb site overwhelmed here. Not happening. Maybe an argument for a couple of these players to save. That's the orb.
Yeah.
Sending it in a 2 versus 4 that did not look likely. So that'll certainly make a difference going into the final round.
I guess thankfully if Sonic saves there, they're going to have money for it to drop over for an orb.
Yeah.
But
Grim.
honestly, saving is really unlikely. Yeah,
Ooh,
and he's seeing off for the end. Nice work for Azu, right? Just a little double check.
Grim on 1500.
True.
It's not good.
I think they probably just rifle across the board here.
They should have saved that 4v2. They should have dropped back and saved that 4v2 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, diving in through the molly there for OC, it feels unlikely. I mean, especially just top site retakes on towards Nuke are already super, super unlikely as they come. But things considered for Monte, we kind of said we wanted just a bit of direction from them at the tail end of the half, and it's a good round to fall back on. And already, you know, again, coming back to a narrative that we build up every time we cast Nuke, like 5 rounds T side, that is still very workable, very feasible. If they can get a tied game at the turn of the half, like, the plaudits are on the side of Monte. Look at this buy, right? You know, like you said, Grim, 5-7 for him. Farmass for bro. And Yuto is unbelievably limited for the CT side. 2 smokes and a nade for the rest of it. At least they've got a kit. Keep an eye out. That's on the back pocket of Sonic. If they're caught into a retake, this can be really difficult, especially with just how limited the user is.
Yeah. They're trying to create something for sure. Slightly aggressive towards ramp, but not overly aggressive.
Yeah, I think you have to be. One of those, right, where I feel like with a buy as janky as this, you have to just hope you get a bit fortunate with a gambled fight.
Yeah. We'll see. Bro forced off. Lucky to be alive, to be fair.
Yeah.
As they're really trying to fight him here. He will get one. It's Nitro on the back of the side that we've got to keep the eyes on. Grim's moved in quick, but he's dealt with quick. Solid advantage now and plenty of options available. Oh, down the vent. Nitro trying to catch them and isolate them. Not going to happen. Sonic caught on a reload, and he will indeed go down. 6-6. I think they will take that on the Monte side of things. Really keen from them, but the run of rifle rounds out from NRG looked very, very clean at times. So it's a map that could go either way. Excited to see how this one continues after the break.
Welcome back. Second half about to get underway, and despite NRG having real moments of looking really quite strong there, it ends up being a very good half for Monte. 6 rounds on your T side, much better than what we saw yesterday against Astralis. And the way they kind of look at the moment, they're in a pretty commanding position, especially, you know, Monte get a pistol here, can get a nice start towards the CT side. Honestly, NRG might be in a bit of trouble.
Yes, no. Very, very curious to see how these opening rounds are going to go.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't believe it. I do not believe it.
Bro, have you not learned the lesson?
The
Where
vent
do they
is
stand?
Monte's, bro. The vent, you can't get in there. You cannot get in there, NRG. We'll be traded.
Give me a Monte graffiti. On,
Yeah. That's what they
vent.
need to do. Get the logo down. Sonic, though, with some pretty big kills here. He's going to wrestle back that control. Bemis has taken a lot of damage. Grim is somehow in behind its work, but he finds the kill. And the pistol is going to slip away from Monte here quite easily. I think these remaining two players will save what they have, take the armor into the next round. Two actually giving it a look. Clean kill for the first.
Unscathed.
Do not write them off here. Of course, USPs especially, it just feels like they can change a pistol round in an instant, but NRG, I think, respecting that. Playing quite safe here. Not too many aggressive angles, just spotting for info. And that clock wind down.
Shot.
OC on the P250 makes it look easy. And of course, on 11 HP, Bemis, no real option. I think cheaper head armor for him.
Yeah.
But either way, just not going to happen. Has to be a bit careful and make sure he's as far away from that bomb as possible as well.
He might still go down. Honestly.
I'm thinking the same on this
Well,
one.
he's going to go down anyway.
We'll never know. We'll never know
I
if
think
the
he
bomb
would
would've
have.
got him.
I think he would have anyway. I feel like you still take a bit of damage into his
Nuke
back
is
arrows.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blast radius is crazy on Nuke.
Yeah, I feel like he might still have gone down regardless. But who cares? I mean, it's nice that Africa gets a bit of money. Bro should really know better. Yeah, as we said, you know, that is Monte's area of the map. But everywhere else, NRGs, they can take that. That's all yours. Okay, a nice start. Buy coming in, but of course we will get a force buy from Monte. Double MP7 for Rainwaker and Azure. Rainwaker looked pretty good with the MP7 yesterday, so definitely worth keeping an eye out for as well. You get one rifle in play for Afro. And speaking of the MP7, here it is! Jumping MP7 in response from Nitro. Oh, that is... Yeah, you just hate to see it. Or you love to see it, depending on how much you like the carnage. They're down towards B and quick.
Made a lot of noise while doing so. Oh, great break. Really great break. The bomb still goes down, unfortunately. Could have been huge if he was just a moment earlier. M4 chiming in. The MP7 unfortunately caught reloading. There's a lot of low HP bars here on both sides of the equation. Bemis takes one of the healthier players from that T side, actually. So into the 2 versus 2. Open angle from Sonic is successful. Nice bit of confidence from him. Bemis also deleted, so Sonic bailing him out on that AK.
Yeah, they take a lot of damage, but all that matters around one. Nice work from Sonic. A nice B hit as well. Real tempo change here. That first fight towards Rainwaker is very fortunate, but it allows them to scale downside really, really nicely, right? You know, they're just flying towards the fights. They're doing a similar sort of strat to what Monte like to throw in, these quick B hits, but they just go from a different route. Learn the lesson of maybe not going down towards them, but it's really, really nicely taken. They move as a pack, they move as a unit. They know they're going to have slightly better firepower, even if it is a force buy coming through from Monte. They know they're going to have more to work with in that sense. Works well for them. Smoke outside. Nitro will actually get a freebie of a cross here. Get a little bit of an investment from Monte. Upgraded pistols can still be quite scary, but only half armor on Bemis. So should be, in theory, quite simple to shut down. They're quite fleshy here as well, so it will allow for Bro or Nitro maybe farm a little bit of cash. Bro's learned the lesson. He really has.
Yes.
Molly down vent.
Every round. Double check, just to be sure. Nitro in a very good spot here. I think they'll try and converge with him, but not necessarily going to be needed with so much space and information for him to work with. Oh, not fully checking it. Had a small window to get away with a kill there, but not going to happen for him.
So
I don't really know.
Nitro got down already.
Yeah.
Looked like he ran past him, but then like how did
He didn't really check it,
Yeah.
I think. So, yeah, maybe
Actually
just a quick little look and he was just hidden around the corner, potentially.
Maybe money's to be made here, actually, for both Nitro and Bro, especially Bro. Shadow spotted. There's one. Doesn't see the second. Now he does. Can be a bit confident in his fight. Yeah, actually, a lot of money. 3 kills for the SMGs there, so you take those. NRG, that's nice. We're going to get a buyout here for Monte. For NRG, more often than not, teams will just keep the bonus buy and play here. If they're able to make this expensive on the bonus buy, they're in a really commanding... Even if they lose the round, they're in a commanding position. Bye, Nitro. Into the abyss for you.
Yeah.
What was that old Yu-Gi-Oh thing? The Shadow Realm. That's
The
where
Shadow Realm,
that's
yeah,
it's just said.
Blue eyes, white dragon.
Yeah. Red eyes, black dragon.
It's about as far as my knowledge goes.
To be fair, I was a Yu-Gi-Oh guy growing up.
Nah, I wasn't really.
Dark magician.
I had these James Bond cards. They were crazy. They got banned at my school because everyone was getting upset with the trading and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was a bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh demon when I was like 9.
See, I think by the time I got to my school, Yu-Gi-Oh had already been banned. So I don't know what was going on there, but these card games,
the underworld Yu-Gi-Oh dealings back in your
they were not
school.
going well.
We used to duel for like whoever would win like would get like, you know, like their chocolate bar from the packed lunch or whatever. No wonder I was a fat kid. I was going crazy.
Suffering from success.
Yeah, single-handedly held back my football career a couple of years by my Yu-Gi-Oh successes putting on weight. Ray Waker. He's here, he gets one, he gets the support of Afro as well. Grim will get a consolation, but it's a nice little 3-piece for Monte out the gates. And the remaining two are Sonic and Nitro. They snuck down Secret, yes, but you can't do anything. You don't have the bomb, so you can't really get anything out of this round. Again, like, it is a bonus buy, sure, but what can you really make out of it? If you can get a couple more kills, then we can talk about it being a silver lining and okay, but they're a known quantity. They've had to make noise to break up in the window.
Yeah. Immediately revealing. They're trying to go for the old classic where like Nitro makes loads of noise and maybe there's like a bait catch out from Sonic's AK. Lovely little angle. Right idea, but not quite executed. It's tough. It is tough. Rainwaker finds both those kills despite the airstrike landing right next to him. And things looking good for Monte in that one. Yes, it was the bonus buy, but I think a very clean response from Monte. So the gap close could be quick. NRG, they recognize that. They're going to take a timeout here. Really do or die type moments in these next couple of rounds. As this Nuke map is that one that maybe leaves us under a bit of contention. We don't know what to expect out of Anubis, so it'd be really nice to have a point in the win column going into that second map.
Yeah. Oh, we did expect this game to be quite competitive, like all the way throughout. We kind of said we built up the narrative that this feels like it's going to be a 3-map affair, and a lot of it did hinge on this nuke. And you can see for NRG, in a way, their realization, like we actually have to be taking this if we want to take this series cleanly. If we let this nuke slip by the wayside, Anubis, despite NRG picking into it, as we've already built up, like it's still an unknown quantity. Like NRG do not have officials on it, and it's all well and good if you've practiced it and scrimmed it and got some strats up your belt, but it's definitely lower than the pecking order. I mean, they've, you know, by playing Anubis, they're running a 7-map pool. Like there's just no way you have time to fully prac and prepare every map like that. So we're expecting this Anubis to be a little loose, and in doing so,
active
inherently,
practice.
it's a risk, right? So I think for NRG, especially with the strong start they've had in towards this half, they really want to be making sure they get something out of this. There's an ever so slight gap. Like Afro, depending on the reactions, he might spot maybe a pixel. Yeah, well, jumping up, he'll spot multiple pixels. Nitro, that felt unnecessary.
Yeah, just a bit too much confidence, a bit too much belief in those smokes. Afro back in for a bit more. Then he gets his head ripped off. Rainwaker with the odd angle working on ramp by himself, looking crisp for the first, but can't get any more going. Big trade to keep this round alive for NRG. About a minute left. The bomb is, however, outside still.
Yeah, it's not committed yet, but they've got plenty of time, got 50 seconds.
Just looking to pick a player or two off, I think.
This feels like a finish towards A, with that bomb being left top site. I guess a lot of it depends on really what Sonic can get going as well. He actually has to be a large part of the contingency plan to go back towards his A site. He needs to come through main. If you say Venn dive, I want to strangle you.
All right, fair enough. I won't do that then. Bemis,
don't do it, please.
Down below.
This is a horrible
They're
crossfire.
just trying to find a contact way in. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Really keen find there from Sonic.
Look at the time.
15 seconds. Bemis just has to hold them off and buy more and more time for his teammates to work with. Him at the back end of the site. He's got one player moving into him. Sonic just wasn't there to join, and Bemis going to hold down for both. Really well played.
Yeah, that is really well done. Bemis is under so much pressure there, and essentially in every engagement Bemis has taken, he's gambling, right? He's committed to the angle and he tunnel visions in. He does very, very well to be walking away with both. Gets the support, sure, but that's a fantastic hold. Like, A-site Anchor and Nuke is statistically one of the hardest sites to play. It's one of the ones where a lot of people struggle in the numbers department. It's one of the roughest places to play, and I think he does a really, really excellent job of just dipping and diving around that back silo. Fantastic work. It'll be a 1-round game, but realistically, Monte should be tying this up. No real investment to come through. They barely even have util. And I'm surprised with barely having Utah that they're going towards an outside play. You got an open towards Heaven holding. This cross is treacherous. Oh my god. Give it a trap, Azu. One. Looking for two. We'll find it as well. Nice work. He gets the support from Afro and the AWP, who gets his. But he now knows his body's coming his way. Hits another shot. He knows the last player's near. He spotted Bro just a second ago. So they're going to send the rifling core in, and it ends up being a near flawless round. Just losing Gizmy in the fray, but as low buys go, they're the kind of rounds that you want for Monte. They secure up your confidence.
Looking clean, and they have exponentially closed this gap now, folks. 9-9. A lot of pressure on the NRG side of things to remain in the conversation. Monte, as they did in the first half, picking up steam, swinging things back in their favor. A lower buy here as well. A couple Galils coming in, not necessarily ideal. So really, really important round here. Monte have built up some cash. NRG right at the bottom end of it still. And they're quickly dropping in. Gizmy so ready for that. However, the smoke spam is effective. Bemis gets blinded up. It might have worked in his favor because he doesn't strike too early and he's going to catch them off. Trade will be there. It's a 1 versus 2. Rainwaker bomb at his feet. Oh! And transfers across. Oh, yes, the Bulgarian beast looks so good.
Yeah, what a hold. That is not easy. Smoke's fading. We know that Bro was lurking in it. But he gets one and transfers so effectively. And it really does help that Bro was already tagged up in that engagement. But Rainwaker does so well. How Bemis goes unchecked for as long as he does, I have no idea. But that is such an oversight. Now the North American side, as Monte with the first half cracking to double digits, the way the second half started, it looked like NRG were priming themselves up to build up some serious momentum, but they're losing control of this game and quickly. Being that a full buy in towards there, no residual cash, no bomb plant means that there's no buy in round number 20. So this one feels like, in theory, a bit of a throwaway once again. Monte should be taking a 2-round buffer at 11-9, and at that point, they're so close to the finish line. There is essentially 2 gun rounds being the difference between where we're at now and this map going the way of Monte's.
Yeah, logistically such a big round to win because of, you know, everything that you mentioned there. Mentally such a big round to win as well. Really difficult to be on the end of for NRG and for them to bounce back.
Yeah.
A lot of work cut out for them and not a lot of room. We'll see. Backs up against the wall. Maybe they've found a way to smash through it.
Nice trade.
Oh, these are the moments, though, aren't they? These are the rounds where you take your eye off the ball. Everybody thinking about the big rifle rounds. Rainwaker traded out. Azu in behind, but he will get caught. Trade to there. Oh, Nosi denied the bomb plant. It just spilled in such an awkward spot for him.
Yeah.
Already being dedicated in towards the site. For a moment, I wanted to believe, but Monte will hold them off.
Yeah, not to be this time. There it is. 2-round buffer. Monte, they are close now to taking this map and its reins and taking their pick, and already a considerably better showing on towards this nuke comparatively to what we saw in towards map number 3 yesterday. NRG, it is kind of now or never, really. You lose this round, especially if you can't get a bomb plant too. No matter what kind of loss bonus you work with, it's still going to be a janky buy in towards what is most likely the last. Afro outside. Deep garage for him. Break open the smoke, nothing spotted behind it, but they can post up on the angle. He'll nade for himself. Hope to find a little gap. Oh, Nitro, you are one lucky individual. A tag taken. Oh, but he's limping.
Still committing, though. Re-Smoke's come in. Obviously got a plan for Nitro here. The flash is just not good enough. Gizmy playing really well from here the past couple of rounds, to be honest, to just hold the line and really be aware of these smoke moves. He will eventually go down, but I think he's done God's work from over here. So much information gathered. Catches a couple. Bro left 1 versus 3. And an ineffective flash, certainly around that NRG are going to have to go back and replan for future nuke games. I think Bro will just save, to be honest. About a minute or so for him to do that overall. It's tough, but now 3 in a row going to be required. It just feels like Monte have had such a snatch of that pendulum.
Yeah.
Really controlling the game.
I'm loving what I'm seeing on the CT side. They're so aggressive, Monte, but in the right ways. Like, they're so happy to fight. They back themselves in a lot of these engagements, and they're just trading off each other really effectively. Like, the second NRG find a bit of space. Attention's drawn there, and they're so good at chaining kills in their favor. Gizzy does well, gets one, but he gets a second behind him when he scoops up the AK. They're just not allowing any freedom of movement for NRG. Sure, it'll be a save for Bro, but it's not going to be great in terms of the support around it. Obviously, he's not really going to have anything to drop. He can pick up a bit of util around the saved AK. Smoking a flash, maybe. Smoking an aid. Monte, brilliant breathing room for the tail end of this map. And I think if they want to get full belt to util, it might require a Galil or two to come through, which is never really where you want to be. Third and final timeout taken by NRG. No better time to use it as Daps, of course, once again enters this conversation. Like we mentioned, Glils are going to have to come into play in some vein. One for Sonic, one for Grim, and I think probably one for Nitro as well. He might even go in towards like an MP7 if he wants a full belt as well.
Anticipation of what Nitro is going to buy. He's still thinking about it himself. It will be the Galil.
Yeah.
So maybe something outside, something with some range to it to get these rifles working as best as they possibly can. But going to need somewhat of a miracle. OC saying a little prayer before getting into things, I'm sure.
Bless him.
Really big moment here. As Monte doing a very good job of, you know, getting a feel for how NRG are approaching things and then being able to adapt and answer to their approach on both sides of the map thus far. Looks like there will be some outside presence at least shown. With 3 smokes, in fact, for the one player. So interested to see what the move is going to be. Afro on the aggression and Rainwaker using him as cover. Dink for Dink. Will be the AK to come out on top, but he is left low.
Oh, yeah.
Afro's got a deagle. Got all that money in the world to make sure he gets the secondary out, looking for more. And the Frenchman pushes forwards, mowing them down, creating so much space and waving. Oh, good knife. Just a cheeky little knife from Gizmi. I don't think he was necessarily looking for it, but it gives him the info that he needs. Another map for us ends with a crazy knife moment. All the same, Monte really clean this time around. Sure, it's a bit closer scoreline-wise than they maybe would have won.
Careful! Nice.
Welcome back in. Thank you very much for your patience on that one. We are just about ready to get into the action here, and again, continually excited for this Anubis, and we'll see indeed what the move is. We've got a little...
Have some fun.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. The grenade. We're going to try and work on the noises. Maybe we'll try and get a taser guy out for the taser noise. That would be pretty good.
What's the classic one they do in movies, or the one that's been used for years?
Oh, yeah, like the Wilhelm scream. That's not bad. There you go.
I'll do some voice acting, but I don't. But anyway, we're live. A pop flashing towards mid. They haven't cleared Sonic. Uh-oh. He's going to get 2. Make that 3.
Man.
Sonic, superb from him as he goes overlooked. Little mistake, and Nitro's here with the dualies. How good are the reactions? He's going to creep around this corner, but he's being held at range. He now knows where both of them are. This becomes really dicey. Can he get the kill? He's dealing damage. He's just keeping pressure on. He's dipping and diving as he looks for the frags, and Nitro gets both. 2 guns, 2 kills for him with the dualies. And it all comes off the back of Sonic, just completely unchecked.
Yeah, huge bailout, actually, though, from Nitro. Sonic, despite how great he looks individually, nobody else was able to support him. Everybody else just going down. Lovely little angle, though, on the new window. Fantastically played from him to just hide away. Love that. And very well read.
Yeah.
But definitely hard fought from NRG to get that pistol as they rush down middle. Things kick off on Anubis pretty well for the CT side. It's going to be a hard eco coming in from Monte. Maybe a P250 dotted in there to try and net 1, and well, they're very close. Nitro is saved by Grim on that MP9, making a lot of money. 1800 for him coming through pretty quickly. So very fast round. Anubis moving quick here to kick things off, and we're already into that first rifle. Yeah,
really nice money to be made there for Grim as well with that MP9. 3 kills at that tail end is going to shore up the finances for the early part. Got team flashed yesterday, now we get team naded.
Yeah.
BM from our producer.
I'm used to it by now. To be honest,
you're the one doing it.
Plenty of no. I'll have you know, absolutely not. Pretty sharp from Afro to kick things off. Nade follows up. Little chunks taken out of Azuu, but Afro, of course, low. From his earlier exchange, it really is moving fast here. Contact play for Gizmi out through middle, Bro having a little look, and he just misses the timing, you know. Really could have been huge for him. This is a very, very strange game state. With that smoke coming in, they'll confirm the location in towards middle, but Gizmi's so deep in here. Can't get the second, but just so much chaos, so much like information overload all of a sudden. 4 versus 2 in favor of Monte, looking very, very good. And this is going to be a puggy one now. They are all over right now taking these fights.
Yeah, exactly. And Monte did up to start on that C side, right? We debated where they would lean, whether they would go for the CT because it felt really nice at the tail end of Nuke, or do they go for the T side just because that's how this map leans, and they go for the strength of the map itself. So far, in terms of the first gun round, it's a nice one. You know, for NRG in a bonus bar like this, you're kind of wanting 2 to 3 kills to kind of make up for maybe a lost round, an expected lost round in a sense, but they can't even get that. Maybe an extra kill to be found here by Grim, but realistically, all he cares about is keeping this AK in play for the next. So it will be Monte finding their first and doing it effectively, no less, as well. And even Afro got tagged early in towards the round. He'll survive on his sliver of HP. Nice, confident first to be taken. And maybe could spell some good signs for Monte. If they can just continue that momentum that they finished off map number 1 of Nuke with and start flying through these rounds once again, really taking the fight to NRG. We kind of saw that they loved brute forcing their way through a lot of the kind of initial rounds in towards that CT side of Nuke, and they might just try and bring that same level of confidence here. Fortunately, we are on another tech pause.
Yeah,
you hate to see it.
It is a little tough out here. Just a few teething issues because we have the sort of double whammy of moving back to online, and then a lot of these teams maybe not going to be as used to the online environment, and therefore how to set things up. And I think it's one of those things as a pro player you really like to try and forget and hopefully move on from, but once in a while you've got to do the online setup, the online tournament.
Yeah, no, exactly that. It's one of those too where for Monte they'll be a little bit more used to because they play a lot of online sets. I mean, so do NRG, but the difference is that NRG are on boot camp, right? So it's like an unfamiliar setup where maybe like PCs they're not used to. Obviously for Monte, these are the PCs that they play and prac with every day, so their anti-cheats.
And it does look like someone's spare room.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I was kind of initially thinking.
I don't know that boot camps have like nice plants and stuff in
yeah,
the back
it's the potted plant and boxes. I was thinking like, are they actually like at Bro's? Because like, is Bro like in his room and he's and he's just like got like a little LAN set up in the living room or whatnot.
Yeah, maybe.
Which actually would be quite funny, to be fair. You've done a LAN setup with the boys?
No, actually. Yeah, we've never really set up. Hopefully in the near future.
Yeah.
Got a stag do coming up, a bachelor party, as they call it across the sea. And that's what we're thinking of doing.
So a little LAN party?
Yeah.
That'd be sick, actually, to be fair. What a LAN party, actually. I can get behind that. OC. Oh, nice for the first. Only just a tiny bit of that shoulder showing, but sharp on the reactions, quick to find. This gives me first to 4, now it's the call from the grave.
Yeah, not ideal. Really quite a tough one. He's definitely saying I was behind the wall, but not how the bullet registers in the end. Man advantage NRG. After a long moment as well, ready and raring to get into a really important round here if they can answer back and just break the back of this T side.
I was about to say it's risky if Afro goes up with a bomb, but smart move there. Yeah. Drop it over and then send him up as his lurking presence. And he doesn't even need to be a lurking presence. He can actually just be an insurance policy to hold for rotations. Like, no matter which side they go towards, he can try and cut them off. But he's going to try and fight here and he'll lose his life. OC gets another.
Yeah, really, really smart stuff from OC as he's dynamic on the AWP. Meanwhile, aggression coming in towards B main. So I think this round really is numbered. Throw up top. Oh, that's a little rough. He leaves Rainwaker on 1 HP. Oh, God. They nearly get caught in transition. That could have been disastrous. I think they've gotten quite lucky to get away with that. Bemis trying to thread the needle here as he catches one reloading. Can he get any more to work their way into the site? The answer is yes, and Bemis remains healthy. Meanwhile, the CT side, not so much. Gap on the edge of the smoke, and Bemis is just absolutely tearing through them right now. An absolute demon. Rainwaker's HP makes all the difference in that fight, but Bemis is most certainly set up for this ace if he can get it going.
No.
Brings it down to just one. One last headshot required, and Bemis gonna get it. Oh my goodness. Puts the team in the backpack and wins the round all by himself.
Yeah, that is ballistic from Bemis. What a round from him. Completely bails them out. That round was dead to rights off the initial 2 from OC, but he single-handedly takes Monte and kind of forces them through in towards the site, and then in doing so, aggressive on that CT side setup. Really, really nice work from him. He forces the CT side back. He forces them into his engagements they don't want to be taken. And that's a bit of the Brian Bemis that we kind of had come to love many a year ago, and it kind of felt like maybe his tenure at the top had, you know, that ship had sailed. But it's moments like that bring it back and show you that he has still got something in the locker. The tilter for NRG, that's a big nice tilter one to be taken for Monte. That is massively going to help the momentum in the early part of your T side. Tying this game up to a piece, and of course just breaking the backbone of NRG in the financial department. They've got nothing to work with. Upgraded pistols is as good as it gets. Monte should be taking a lead here, and it's all off the back of one man's antics.
Crazy work, and a real difficult one for NRG to be stomaching and dealing with on the server. A few upgraded pistols here, a couple smokes, a flash, but not expecting them to get too much done. Might be able to kick off some damage. And kind of getting the shoulders out, really.
Yeah.
Smoking A main, making it look like there's some kind of investment here. Draw them in towards B, hopefully. Really, really common, though. This early A main smoke does often denote that you've got a decent setup over here.
Yes. Because you've got, you know, util to expend if you can throw out that early in the round.
Sonic. Ooh, dangerous move.
He's dead here, surely. Oh.
Still in the smoke. He's just on the edge of it. Gizmi will take him. And hopefully he doesn't look A. Yeah, again, I think it's a really nice move from Sonic to be like, I can take this risk at mid because I have teammates on A. So they've really sold them down the river here in towards this stack. Is that going to be enough? Surely in a round like this, with more kills, it's just unfortunately not enough, and not a single kill, in fact. Not a single point of damage, in fact. So Monte, talk all about this momentum. They are really picking it up here. And some sighs of relief, some tough... I don't know if I want to entertain it, man. I'll give it this. The 6-7s I'll give you because it's funny, but all this looks maxing stuff is a bit crazy. I just don't like that guy. You know?
I hope there's multiple, isn't there? Like
well,
a whole,
yeah, I don't like any of them.
There's like an Avengers universe of like...
I don't think I like any of them.
Mog maxing people.
Yeah, and they're just not very nice. So, you know.
It was funny when one of them got like found out to be bold though.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty funny. I have no clue who that guy is, but wearing the wig is pretty
androgenic funny. Or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm too in the roots of this.
You need to get out.
I know, I'm too brain rotted.
You're gonna show up with like Botox and a huge jawline.
Yeah. You say my jawline's not huge?
Okay. Well, like, you know, way bigger, comically large. Comically large. You don't want a huge one. You want like a well-proportioned one, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was all about.
Like mine.
Okay.
Gizmi gonna go around this corner. He won't clear the close corner though. So Gizmi and Azu go down. I mean, NRG needed an emphatic response back in towards the gun round, and this is a nice way to start it. However, we've already seen them lose a 5 versus 3.
Oh, maybe not here though. Yeah,
that was close to the double though.
It's a bit of work. He needed that first one cleaner. Doesn't quite happen. Afro with 4 to find on the AWP. They're split. He can isolate the 1v1s.
True.
So I don't mind the way this looks for him. And the energy's already there. You know, if one big clutch gets won, it often opens a game up. Everyone starts playing a bit more nervous. And
it's just he doesn't have time is any issue, right? If he has like, if it's like 50 seconds on the clock when he gets that kill, he can actually start moving around, but he has to commit to something here. He might actually just slip a gap, but if he plants, technically for Temple, he's doing all right. Oh, and he might, you know.
He's just
7 seconds.
Yeah, this is not it. Not it. Peekaboo from Nitro takes him down before he even gets the bomb plant in. And things evened up pretty quickly here. So going to be a competitive start into this map for damn sure.
Yeah, if he plants a Temple, he gets a plant up. I can't see it really going anywhere in towards around itself. But nice work. Nice mid-aggression. And it's also like Sonic who's playing anti initially too. Fantastic work. Yeah, like we said, this feels like it's going to be quite a puggy map, and we sort of said that coming in towards this map with our limited expectations of needing to play it, we're expecting it to be very loose, and that's how it feels. Azu gets getting flashed, though, does have support. The Molly doing a hell of a lot of damage, and also a real good information gather. This is so risky. Oh, as for a second he was tempted. The devil on his shoulder was saying, swing that smoke, but thankfully the angel speaks louder and reins him back in. They've got numbers here. One decent break open of that smoke and a flash behind it, and Bro and Sonic are in a lot of trouble.
Oh my!
God.
Bro with the jump scare. Maybe this is what they want to try and bait them in.
Flash.
It's a great flash. Bro is able to turn away and find one. Maybe the best of a bad situation there. Flash to slow them down. But there's no real utility to stop them getting in towards this A bomb site. OC revealed in towards heaven. Flank dealt with. Catching everything here. OC has managed to drop one. There's a lot of damage done. Can Grim make something of this? They are indeed going to go for the boost up. It's being watched. And that reveals the location of the final player as well. So Grim will take the AWP out, and another back and forth round here. Swings back for Monte to take the lead again.
The real gaps are opening towards A, though, and I think, you know, credit to Monte. We've already seen this in terms of their calling style. I think it was kind of like famed at the start of the year by Paravision, but Monte have been implementing a similar style of calling off the back of Gizme, which is, if there's a weakness that we find and we explore, just continue going there. Basically, living and dying by the if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of moniker, right? Grim trying to save that all, but can't.
Not really, though.
Yeah, but the issue is, though,
a bit close.
He knows that there's a real world in which Rainwaker's just lurking through the side. But Rainwaker, in terms of his lurk, he's always sort of somewhere in the back line, so he didn't really want to fall back over towards the B site. I can understand why he's sort of like hiding in plain sight in a sense, but
I suppose
you probably want to be a little bit more tucked around the corner.
Yeah, I just enjoy the directive of focusing on the save a bit more than actively being involved and more heavily risking that weapon.
Yeah.
To be honest, yes, if you get flanked, but at least it feels like you've done everything right. It's a bit nitpicky.
Yeah.
But makes a difference, you know? He could have been on the AWP, could have been having some impact here. As it is, he's on the glass cannon M4.
Yeah. It's,
interesting choice.
I mean, I guess he's going to have money left over for the next round, but he really has to do something special with it. 5-7 up close. Can rip heads at that sort of range. He just really wants to pick up an AK, but he's so nervy about rounding the corner. Molly down, that'll tickle the toes a little bit further and push him back in towards the site. So no recovered guns, which Monte can pick up on. They haven't scooped up one of the AKs, and they're just going to double pump this hitting towards A. They're expecting that Monte, off the back of the initial contact, would have naturally lent the other side, but Gizme, relentless in his calling. And like we said, when they find gaps, they continue to keep pushing on the weak point, and they're going to go back again towards the A site. Molly down in towards camera, bomb planted, and yes, numbers favor NRG in the post-bomb, but the HP doesn't, and now that does the weaponry, and that'll help with Afro getting one. And he can stay posted. They don't really have the util to force him off the angle either. He goes back towards Pillar. The AK will reclaim this main space, and he surely gets both in. Yeah, guns get collected, but you're just going to get clotheslined. B-Mass for both. Leaves it all on the shoulders of Nitron with 5-7 half HP and no armor. No chance is the easy call I can make in this one. A 1 versus 3. He'll give it maybe a loose look in. He doesn't have a kit, so it doesn't really matter. He might tap the bomb to see if he can draw people towards the site, or potentially try and see if he can get someone on the tail end, but it's not going to make a difference in the grand scheme. He gets his AWP, but he won't survive. But again,
that is insanely toxic.
Yeah,
dude.
Get rid of it.
That's so crazy.
Small percentages.
I mean, but he's just been walking the whole time on the site. Catches this guy in the back with like 2 seconds left on the bomb. I love it. I mean, I love it. And you are obviously going to go for it in a round like this. The big moment in that round for me, 4 versus 3, Sonic jumps a bit early into the retake. I think he needed to wait for his teammates to stack up behind him. Yeah, gives their man advantage away. They could have swung in with 3 players with some rifles. There's a fair chance he draws crosshairs. The aim punch is less of a factor. So yeah, I think he was very nuanced, but will be the difference maker. OC with an active angle, able to drop the first. Looking for a little more here as Monte have sped up towards B, changing things up. NRG are very ready for it though. 3 on the B bomb site itself.
I don't know whether Grim actually spotted B-Mass crossed or if he's just doing the due diligence of checking as a just in case. They know that timing-wise he could have made it over with the flash, but I'm not sure whether they do actually know anything about it.
Oh, God.
And this is where BMAS can maybe... Oh, he's got that crack angle. OC, I'm surprised he's got Bowers and be spotted. There it is. Gets his. Looks for a second. Oh, BMAS. That is so sharp from him as well. He's having a fantastic map so far. He's 16-3 out the gates. And the relentless pressure is causing NRG to just crumble. He pulled apart at the seams. He's looking for more, and he'll be seen off by Sonic. But the molly will bait out Nitro's position. It's a 3 versus 3. He's a known quantity, but Bro makes a move for E-Box, and they shut it down. Nitro should have been dead to Rice, but he's the one who sees off the round.
Really clean. They're just so distracted by Nitro's position, really.
Yeah, they get tunnel visioned in, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And just a couple players maybe caught with utility in hand. It does not make for a good look, but, you know, it's unfortunate he still had his smoke, right? That's a bit of an RNG move as to whether he'd laid that down early or gone for a re-smoke at some point. So they just missed the timing on it ever so slightly. Beamer, so as you say, world-beating performance right now. He can keep this going. Zuo and Rainwaker, Gizmy just quite quiet. They don't really need to be doing too much at the moment. Shadow spawn. How long are those shadows? OC, beautiful find. Disastrous lineup. But that was right at the tip of the shadow for sure. He had so much info to work with. Beamers keeps the nice shots coming. Is it going to be enough in a round like this where and now a man down and the weaponry just is not quite up to par?
He's just not missing at the moment, Beamers. It feels like while he's still alive and with an AK in his hands, there's still some level of belief. Numbers don't favor them. And a smoke at an apt time just as we creep towards a minute on the clock. If in doubt, back to 8. Be what Monte have going for. The vast majority. They do have a bit of util as well, but they're just going to bait the smoke. I don't know if I love that. You see that goes down. So there's Rainwaker as well on the shoulders of BMAS. He's bailed them out on this site once before. It was an ace earlier, now looking for a quad clutch as he's left in a 1 versus 2. Bomb down. He has a smoke as well, which he throws. I'll go over towards camera. He's playing on the site itself, expecting rotations to come through heaven. He's surely going to realize in a second that they've got to be coming through main. Time is ticking, and he's just not really accounting for it. He's just dipping and diving, checking every single angle. He surely gets caught in the backlines. They've crossed. Backpack spotted, though, from BMAS. That should be 1. There it is. He's looking for another clutch. BMAS holds down Mouse 1, and he drops OC to 5 points of HP, but it's just about not enough. Fine margins, but it's NRG who find another.
Again, he's almost perfectly hidden away from them, right? It felt like he was going to be seen from main, but I think he was tucked close enough to that wall. Crazy stuff. Just needs a tiny bit more support.
Yeah.
I suppose it is a hard one. You get collatered as your first movement in the round. Really quite unfortunate. Getting close now, getting dicey. And the thing is, we look towards this T side to be more effective. I think NRG are going to be happy with the spot that they're already in, keeping things close, keeping things even. Now taking timeout as well. So really looking to solidify their position moving into the second half.
If we're being frank, right, the money's not broken for this T side. They're going to save Econ to most likely buy in towards the loss. That's what many teams would traditionally do here. So it means that if all things go to plan and the stats play out the way that they should, that NRG should be taking a 6th here. So 6 rounds already on the CT side, you absolutely work with. And sure, Monte have had nice moments right this T side, but it's large in part coming off the back of one man. And you ask this kind of question, for example, like if BMAS is not playing to this level, he's playing at the level of the rest of his team. This is a dominant affair in this first half. And you know, you ask a lot of the question that I always like to ask in situations where he's pulling off clutches, like, is it replicable? You can't rely on one guy to bail you out, round in, round out. Flash in! Oh, that is a stunner! Superb from OC as Sonic swings into the fight and he lines up 3 with ease. Looks for a 4th. He'll nail it as well as Afro is caught on the jump across. Oh, that is sublime. Beautiful. What a shutdown and a flawless round from NRG against that low buy with ease.
Yeah, Afro forgetting you can just run around the back.
Yeah, true.
You don't have to cross like that.
Mate, that's long.
Yeah, true. Can't be bothered.
Only had a minute 30 on the clock.
Yeah,
You can't be wasting those precious seconds.
Whatever. It's just kind of comical. I mean, when you see a moment like that, you know the round's just over.
Yeah.
Although the bomb may well have spilled slightly forward, slightly awkwardly, but whatever. Whatever. Just being funny, just poking some fun at Afro. He is French after all. NRG looking set to get a 7-5 here. Really picking up steam moving into this second half, and I feel like 7's going to be a decent number out of your CT side. Maybe a game-winning number, some teams might say. Monte, unfortunately, dropping off ever so slightly towards the tail end here, getting a taste of their own medicine in that sense. No movement off the flash. They're still going to be confident to push forwards.
Yeah, I guess for NRG with that flash, you know, they didn't have anyone close enough to the fight. They were just hoping that there was a reaction to gather information, whether it's a shot or a bit of U-turn response. Speaking of, here it will be. Flash will come through. Allow Afro to get the angle. Oh my god, he's just trying to catch a pixel there. You're leaving BMAS to lurk over, but keep an eye trained it. BMAS has got the bomb. They're flashing out for B main control. BMAS is alone in this endeavor. If he dies, he's now getting a rotate over from Gizmy, but the bomb is over there. So as much as they're taking mid presence and A presence, NRG had a favorable fight. That could have been an interesting swing and a find! Oh, Grim and Nitro, the double swing is excellent. Wow.
I thought it was Grim's spray transfer.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
It was Nitro from behind. Still, a really nice move as a collective.
It's a great call as well. Like, what a re-aggress for information. Especially off the back of the Molly tick as well.
Yeah.
Poor Azu, he's having a tough game, but he's really taking some unfavorable fights.
Yeah, the licks are pretty nasty. 15 seconds left on this clock. 2 at A main. Surely not. Just mollied the site you need to plant on. That doesn't help. Missed shot from OC. They should be able to get the bomb down here, but it's going to cost them some players decent damage as the second nade doesn't quite reach. Again, though, winging a prayer here for these remaining 2 players. One of them is Bemis. He's not super healthy. He's looking, gagging for a fight, but he will be denied. It's all on to Gizmy, the IGL. He gets overwhelmed, and a really nice finish coming in. NRG will just battle back to make sure that they are able to put up a really strong first half. And now, curiosity, what is this weaker side going to look like from Monte? Only time will tell.
We're heading on the way in towards this second half in just a moment, and it's been, as expected, a bloodbath all the way throughout that first. It has been a very, very puggy affair. We've had brilliance from BMAS, but unfortunately, it has been a bit of a one-man army show. Generally speaking, the positives to be taken away from this is that NRG look a lot more holistic in terms of their approach here on their map pick. They've got a lead heading in towards the second half. If they can get a pistol to start this T side, I mean, Monte could be in a bit of trouble. Let's see. First fight is good for Azu. But for a second, he's under a bit of pressure. He's also being flanked, which he realizes is just a little bit too late.
Yeah, but I'm in complete agreement. Oh, God. Knife damage is huge, actually. I think he might have missed the first slash, which just slightly reduces your knife damage. Sonic going to catch Afro with nade in hand. Surely he's still got to see this one off, though. It's all on Bro. He's known about now. The goal got close. You can't rely on it. The spin around is ridiculous, and he looks so damn cool for just a moment. Can't believe what he's done. A crazy 1-on-3 from Bro. And that might just be what NRG needed.
Oh, that is beautiful. How does he get away with that? What a misplay from Monte. And yes, it's early in towards this half, but that actually could be so costly in the latter stages. We're going to force buy out for Monte. You lose this, not only are you 9-5 down, you're basically 10-5 down.
Yeah.
Because your money will be broken.
It's one of those things, man. Whenever I see like an individual popping off, I think it's really hard to translate that into a CT side.
Yes.
You've got a couple players who are struggling, and they're in this modern gimmicky style maybe going to be abused, but it will just show itself in the retakes. Quick burst out towards A, though, is a little wacky, if you ask me. Going through the smokes here. The flashes are good from the CT side. They've dropped that bomb, and things look really solid. Everyone rotating in. Trade should be easy. And NRG with maybe an overzealous move, maybe expecting an eco. It's what they did in the first half when they lost the pistol. They went straight for the eco. Changing it up here has clearly caught them off. And a big force buy win for Monte.
Yeah, it's a huge call from Gizmy there as well to gamble that A site. They have 3 bodies there in the early fight. They have one in towards mid, one playing solo B. And what they do is they just drag the mid player over immediately. The B player takes mid control just to see there's alert coming through. And they just have numbers to fight. It's fantastic work. It's an inherent big risk to be taking, but it's one in which ends up being for the betterment of Monte. That's going to keep them afloat here. We said this has been a brawl all the way throughout this map so far, and it is no different here. Forced by, of course, in response, you have to take. Scout dealing decent damage here, though. Couple of tags early, and then Needle see off Bro as well, and it tags OC down to 10 points of HP. It's not the start that NRG were hoping for. Airstrike? Yes, yeah, it is. Absolutely. Sees off OC and tags Nitro down pretty low.
Can you stand on stairs challenge? Unfortunately failed by NRG.
Like the Ice Bucket one, but of 2026.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I nominate you, OC, for the stand on stairs challenge.
Yeah.
How long can you last?
That's why I'm going to hell. I never did mine.
Yeah?
Someone nominated me. I never did it.
I don't think I ever did one, but I never got nominated.
Yeah.
Because no one really did it.
I got nominated and I didn't do it, so.
Yeah.
That'll be on the list when St. Peter, you know, it'll be like, listen, man, you didn't do the Ice Bucket challenge.
Yeah.
You're not getting in.
Yeah. Says here, Toxic in Pugs didn't do the Ice Bucket challenge.
Yeah, that's fair.
No heaven for you.
Can't argue with that. Gonna show me my League of Legends chat logs.
What is it like the
2013?
The Dender Hook or whatever? Is it Dender? Is that his name?
That's Dota though.
Yeah. Is that Dota? Yeah. I don't play either of them. So
that's the bait logo, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Oh yeah. I knew it from somewhere. I can't say I played either. So.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, I played one game in the league.
Just not good for your mental
and
health.
Really just in the... They're introducing voice chat into it now, though. That's going to be...
Terrible idea.
Terrible idea, yeah.
Terrible.
That's going to be interesting.
The league community is not good. And that's why I'm here. That's why I work on CS, you know what I mean? Rather than trying to focus League.
You pick the better of the two. You got that, or you can go Valorant and have E-couples breaking up in your game like midway through. I had that. Literally mid-game
Feels like it's quite a, normality in that game.
Yeah. Literally, I played like 2 games in the beta, and an E-couple was breaking up in one of them, and I was like, "This is
in the beta."
Yeah, it was like not for me. This is like
it's a bit quick.
Yeah, it was not for me. It was not for me. CS has always been supreme because we don't get that.
Yeah. Oh.
This is a non-existent round, really. I mean, NRG have invested nothing into this. They've not even got any sort of upgraded pistol. And they really can't afford to be honest. 4 out of 5 of the team are sub 2,000. One well-placed nade here from BMAS could cause a lot of problems. And in they come, walking in towards the MP9 is Azu. And BMAS will combine for kills apiece. He pulls out the Deagle. Yeah, such a simple shutdown. You get one consolation kill, which honestly is kind of impressive considering the buy, but that round was always a non-factor. The best you're really looking for there, NRG, is if you can buy a miracle squeeze out a bomb plant for a bit of extra cash in towards the next, but nothing was ever going to come forth from that one. Monte, nice work that they're in now to tie this one up and puts a lot of pressure on NRG in towards round number 17 with this gun round. You lose here, and Monte can start seriously pulling away, and that starts really opening the door for the 2-0. I mean, that conversation now starts to really become quite apparent. They're going to go for a B main pop, and BMAS for one. Azu's stuck in the open. He can't escape, so Grim gets both.
Yeah, I respect the idea. They're also getting aggressive towards A here, so really not letting up on the Monte side of things, trying to lay down the law. It's a lot of information, though, now for the T sides to work with, as well as that man advantage. 1 damage from the nade. Classic. That used to happen all the time in CSGO. I feel like the CS2 nades are way more consistent, but yeah. 1 damage done, not quite going to be enough. There's a moment in the smoke here. Sonic is looking. Rainwaker's angle is very odd and not going to be expected. That's for damn sure. Seems like the bomb is creeping towards B. They're trying to fake things out at middle. They've abandoned the A site itself. These guys are really ready for a move towards B. Swing comes in off the back of a flash there. Does not happen. Gizmi with a really cheeky angle, but his muscle memory getting the better of him. Just peeks around the corner into the wall. Afro surely has to save from here. NRG with a big find.
Yeah, can't afford to give this one a look in Afro. It's just not worthwhile losing the AWP. And knowing that on the flip side as well, that NRG haven't had the finances to buy one, that they would love to scoop that up as a freebie, as a cherry on top to a nice T-side round. We said there was a lot of pressure on this one for them. If you'd lost this NRG, you don't have many gun rounds left before the end of this series ultimately, but it's that fight there. I mean, Gizmi, he has all the advantage. Spots his shoulder first in the gun bro, and actually all will end up being recovered at the end there. OC will love that freebie. Just to add insult to injury for Monte in a less than effective performance there. NRG are reclaiming the lead. I mean, it still feels near impossible to predict right now. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. How did you feel coming in towards this one in terms of your prediction?
It's a good question. I probably would have lent the way of NRG. They were fun to watch at Krakow, so I wanted to see a bit more of that, really. And then Monte, I think, for me, just lacking some depth tactically. Yesterday, at least. Seems a little better here today.
Yeah.
Like I say, I think a lot of it was mental.
Yeah, I got to agree. I'll come back to why I brought that up in a second, because BMAS has a chance at a couple, but he only gets one, and Grim. Just a battering ram in towards that B site as he gets both. Barrel of Rainwaker spotted, it'll bait him out, and Bro gets a freebie. Left down to one, it's all on the shoulders of the young IGL, and Gizmi cannot convert. Grim, fantastic round from him, and NRG are starting to seriously pull away now, getting closer and closer to pushing this towards the decider. Ultimately, as we expected, I will say, but yeah, fine margins. Now, brought that up because I spoke to our wonderful observers. Of course, we've got Chev and Jonas observing for us in this game. I asked what their predictions were heading into it, and Chev said 2-1 Monte, and Jonas said 2-0 Monte. So,
well, that one's under threat.
Yeah, we're the other way. I would have gone 2-1 NRG. Yeah, I think a lot of it really.
I just like the team.
Yeah. I've really been impressed with OC from Krakow. We obviously, like you mentioned, I think we covered all but one of their games.
Yeah.
And yeah, OC looked incredible. And then of course, I feel like the injection of Grim in towards the side is just only a net positive. Like, bless him for the successes that NRG have had. George has really been the outlying factor. He's just struggled playing those anchor positions where, you know, for someone like Grim, like he just is such an impact player. Yeah, as you mentioned, he's such an unfortunate upgrade too. Like, you know, don't mean to kind of mean to George in that sense, but it's Grim, right? What can you do, right? It's one of those, I think even he realizes that, like, he's got to accept it. Like, it's such a good move for NRG to make, and just continues to show how competitive the aspirations of the North American side are. Money is worse for wear for Monte, meaning that we've got the 1M4, an MP7, and a 5.7 to work with. MP7, I mentioned it earlier, that Rainwaker does actually look quite good with this gun. Still a big ask. They still don't have a lot of util either. Monte got 2 flashes and a smoke.
Nervy here from NRG, though. They're not really sure what the buy looks like on the other side, I think.
Yeah, probably a bit scared of a gamble stack too. We know that Monte likes to throw these in.
Just taking it slowly. Small bit of info gathering outside of A main as well from both sides, really. Tiltiel starts to come in now as that window of initial aggression begins to close. However, still looking for a move.
Oh.
1 is good, 2 would be better.
That. Oh, where'd that gun go?
Gets it, the spaghetti arms coming into play. Bro looking good over on A. So I think although it's slow going, it does just feel like NRG in full control of the round.
Oh, hang on. This is the bomb here towards stairs. And to make matters worse, this bomb is alone. Because they're assuming that Bro has got forward here because he is all alone. Oh my god, if Afro looks towards his left, he gets 1 for free. That is going to be the bomb drop. There it is. Afro gets time for a reload. Look at the time here as well. 15 seconds. If he can get a favorable kill, oh, it's going to save you. Gizmy's still here though.
Yep.
If they plant for main, Gizmy wins the round alone. He's just waiting, biding his time. He knows where they're planting. Oh no, there's no time to plant. That'll be it. Monte win it off the clock. And Nitro could go down off the time. He does get the shot off, so he keeps the AWP in play. But that's an oversight by NRG. They left things a little too late and thought that the clock was their friend. But it was their enemy.
Yeah, watched enough Counter-Strike by now to know you can just feel in rounds when the energy's a little too nervous. You know, you want them to be a bit more confident.
NRG.
Ah, yeah, thank you. Yeah. But ultimately, yeah, it just had that vibe about it this round that
We're here all week.
there was, well, yeah, quite literally. You know, I'm airbed on your living room floor. So the things we do.
Yeah.
For
the love of the
Counter-Strike.
game. The love of the game.
But yeah, it just had that feel about it that round that there was maybe something brewing, and then we had this little moment of the bomb also taking it slowly. Like they just didn't have confidence to run anywhere.
The flanks were great, aren't they? Like for Monte, like I think, you know, we've spoken about for Monte that they're so calculated in their risk, but that's a risk that you just have to take. You know, you don't bring a lot of firepower to run. I mean, it was what Gizmy and Afro both had pistols. They didn't have a half armor. It was just USPs. Gizmy had 1 flash. Like they've got to take something a bit risky in terms of their engagements. It's really well done. Speaking of, Sonic did well in the pistol earlier. He could get Gizmy overlooked here. Oh, and he will. This one, looking for 2. He can't quite get it, but the quick trade that comes through from BMAS. He pulls out the pistol. I'd prefer he reloads, which now he opts for. NRG down to 2. Monte are on the brink of tying this game up and breaking the backbone of NRG, leaving them penniless.
OC. Oh,
needed that.
This is the shot. So there goes the conversation for this round. Monte with a gift in the previous, and they have absolutely taken it with both hands.
Yeah.
Looking fantastic here. Back in the conversation. Game back alive. 2-0 back alive, in fact. Credit where it is due. They've done very well under the pressure there to just keep this rolling.
Maybe our observer Jonas with that 2-0 Monte pick might be onto
maybe.
something. Chef said 2-1, but the way
That
things
still
are panning
counts.
out,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, he's listening.
Yeah, we get you, Jonas. Oh, yeah.
The win still counts.
He can go back to his nodding now because he's probably feeling good about himself.
Me and you getting it completely wrong is, you know,
Par for the course.
that's the tough. Well, yeah, it does happen. It does happen.
Yeah, we really should have kind of like, you know, really back to the Brits, to be honest.
Yo, that is true, actually. Yeah,
I did it yesterday.
That is an angle, but it's very dangerous to do, right?
Yeah.
In all sports, we always let
Choke.
the fans down.
Yeah.
You know, in the worst possible way, get to the final, choke.
Yeah. We are winning the World Cup this year, though.
I think the glory days of that team probably gone.
Coming home.
The talent.
Football's coming home.
The talent's not as good, but it is going to be a hell of a summer. It's going to be a hell of a summer in the
Apart
beer
from that,
garden.
The last game of the day starts like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, that is true.
We'll be in the right schedule for it, though. Game, isn't that?
Yeah, but I want to be in the beer garden in the sun watching.
The government have
footies.
actually allowed beer gardens to stay open later. Pubs are staying open
There you
later for
go.
the summer.
But the sun won't be out
yeah,
while I'm watching the footies, drinking me cider.
yeah.
So it's not quite the same.
Beers, beers, beers.
And they're playing in America.
True.
I have to watch that.
Oh, they're going to move towards B here. The low buy, and the Molly's going to really do some serious damage. But a drive-by with the Glock is, I mean, they're still causing problems. They might squeak out the plant here, which honestly is a positive yes. You're not expecting anything like that round. Getting a plant out of it is a positive you'll take. Still a round for Monte as they continue to pile on the pressure. And this gamble of a pick of Anubis is starting to look like an opportunity missed in this veto process. We've already spoken about it. Monte, generally speaking, that they just don't have a fleshed out map pool, right? And it is a kind of a glaring issue for this Monte side in their rise. But they found themselves 2 rounds away now from a 2-0 in this series. Maybe Anubis can really be incorporated towards the map pool. They've actually played some good CS on it.
Yeah, definitely a map to keep an eye on in future for this squad, but a lot of it comes down to, again, that unlikely round, just really riding the wave of that momentum. NRG, it feels like they are potentially out of ideas. Sonic goes flying in all by himself, no buddy system. Not quite sure what the idea is behind that, to be honest with you, and it just leaves NRG in a really, really tough spot now. The dying embers of this map, by the looks of it.
It's alarming to see moves like that because it really just reeks to desperation. Yeah. They are desperate to make something work in their favor. Frustrated, as you kind of put it as well, where they haven't been going to plan and becoming a tilting factor. Afro's posted on the angle. Shadow should work in his favor as well if they round this corner. Question is, how sharp are the reactions?
Look at this info from behind B as well.
Yeah.
So ready for
look
the
at the numbers towards A. They're about to bring a 4th player over. I mean, NRG don't know it, but they're being strangled in a vice here. Oh, I thought like he could line them up there. Just threads the needle.
Yeah, Afro unable to hit the shot. He sticks around though. Confident to take a couple more thanks to that early opener. Will lose his head eventually, but this smoke is just so perfectly timed. We're still going to try here, and all 4 waiting on the other side of the smoke. It's just not going to happen. They are throwing everything at this, including the kitchen sink, and NRG is just not working. They've been red, they've been entried on, really not looking good, and a dejected side now over on the T end of things to try desperately. It is the word of the hour to recover this one back.
Yeah, this CT side's looked incredible. They've really never gave an NRG any sort of a look in towards the momentum. They've never been able to get a proper grip onto it either. They've just struggled to put rounds on the board, and they've struggled to take real control. Like, bomb plants are coming in rounds that mean really nothing. And you look at, again, like, we talk about these like knock-on effects, but losing that round without really even getting that many kills or a bomb plant, again, the buy is going to be just brutal. OC Deagle, bit of util. I mean, there's SMGs that are going to have to come in towards this. This is the worst kind of position to be in for what feels like most likely the final round of the series. Yeah, horrible spot, to say the least.
Going to take some time. Going to take some effort. But we'll see if NRG are made of sterner stuff. A lot of utility brought up into this round. That's the focus that they've gone for. What is the game plan for it? Do they have a pocket round saved for moments like this? Seems like a B lean with a mid fake to come through. Trying to oversell, a lot of utility over there. They're really, really ready for this B hit though. Again, Monte with some super, super solid reads and rotations. They've got no one in towards middle, tiny little eyeball on it, maybe a round that they are ready for that has been rehearsed. Afro trained in with this AWP. Will he be flashed off? The answer is no. They send a shoulder out to try and deal with him. 1-for-1, not going to be good enough. The AWP still standing strong and hitting shots. Absolutely no trouble for Monte to clean it up. And NRG running out of energy, running out of steam and fuel and everything you need in Counter-Strike to keep going. They could not match up. The Anubis, unfortunately, gets the better of them. And Monte may well indeed have done some